Alright, let's go do this. Feeling we're going to be picking up a few entries on here. No? Interesting.
Commander, something you need?
I have to go.
Alright, see you.
Alright, never mind. Sorry, Joker. Sorry to bothered you. Okay, this system should be done. Let's double check though. At least they improved it with telling you the percentages in later ones. Alright, I'm gonna start a list so that I remember all these. Trying to find a pen. Bear with me, guys. Looking for a pen. Alright, so where were we?
Message coming in, Commander. Big surprise, the Alliance needs you again.
Shepard, this is Admiral Hackett with Alliance Command. We've got a mission for you. An Alliance officer named Major Kyle has set up a small compound in the Hulking Eta cluster. He's attracted a number of followers, mostly biotics. He's become an outspoken critic of the Alliance, and we believe he's mentally unstable. This could be trouble, Shepard.
What kind of proof do you have that the Major is dangerous?
3 days ago, we sent 2 Alliance representatives to meet with him at his compound. They've disappeared. We believe Kyle and his followers killed them. That compound is a cult, Shepard. They call him Father Kyle now. He set himself up as some kind of religious leader.
You said his followers were biotics?
Yes. Major Kyle never showed any biotic tendencies himself, though. I think he's just latched onto a group he identifies with. Many biotics feel marginalized or ostracized by society. Kyle probably sees them as victims who need his protection, and they see him as someone who will fight for them. Unfortunately, he's convinced them that the Alliance is somehow responsible for all their problems. We can't let him go on like this.
What were those Alliance representatives going to talk to Major Kyle about?
They wanted to bring him back to an Alliance facility for treatment. Major Kyle served us faithfully for many years. We weren't going to abandon him. Given his state of mind, however, he probably saw them as a threat. We're almost certain he had his followers killed him.
What else can you tell me about Major Kyle?
He used to be a model soldier, but something happened to him at Torfin. Too many Alliance soldiers died under his command. Couldn't cope with the guilt. His psych evaluation showed he couldn't handle the stress of command anymore. He was given an honorable discharge and early retirement. We'd hoped he would get better in time, but we underestimated how far gone he was. Now it looks like it's too late.
I might be able to end this without violence.
You served with him. He might listen to you. But he's already killed 2 Alliance representatives. I trust you to use your judgment. Hack it out.
Okay, let's keep going. Tamahera. Tamahera has a thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and xenon. The surface is icy and composed of sodium oxide with deposits of calcium. It contains a few unremarkable metals, but mainly consists of rock. The presence of canyons and floodplains suggests that liquid water once existed, suggesting Tamahera had a thicker insulating atmosphere in the past. Klendragon. Klendragon is an arid terrestrial, slightly larger than Earth, but with a lower density that reflects its relative lack of heavier elements. The crust is composed of tin and aluminum, with wide deserts of dust-fine sand that are easily stirred by the wind. Klendragon's most striking feature, of course, is the Great Rift Valley that stretches across the southern hemisphere. What is most fascinating about the rift is that it does not appear to be natural. The geological record suggests that it is the result of a glancing blow by a max accelerator round of unimaginable destructive power. This occurred some 37 million years ago. Come back to press stop. Oops, sorry guys. Come back to press stop. Canctra. A terrestrial world of average size, Canctra's atmosphere is composed of nitrogen and argon. Its frozen surface is mainly composed of tin with deposits of calcium. Aside from some spectacular formations of water ice at the poles, the planet has little to recommend. Tharopto. Tharopto is a typical hydrogen-helium gas giant with traces of chlorine and sulfur in its atmosphere. It has over 100 moons and an extensive ring system composed of pulverized rock, presumably the debris from shattered moons. Just checking. Pressrop is the moon of Klendagon. It is a frigid, barren world with an extremely thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and ethane. The crust contains plentiful deposits of heavy metals. The Alliance has opened bidding for the moon's mineral rights, but exploitation will be complicated by the system's proximity to the 5 kiloparsec ring around the galactic core. The ring is an area of intense star formation and too dangerous to safely travel. Pressrop's landscape is a nightmare of jagged, overlapping ridges and geological shock zones created by some ancient disaster. This has not deterred a generation of illegal wildcat miners from attempting to exploit the moon's mineral riches. Unfortunately, many have lost their lives. Let's do the old one. I'll change it up a little. Oh, what's this? Yep, that's on the map. Oh no. Yeah, that's how it's done. Nice. Oh, there's another one. It's also not on the map. You know, I gotta be honest, I do not know if I have it in me to do a full playthrough and read all of the stuff, because it would take a long time. Oh, the Wildcat miners. Looks like nothing. That's a shame. This is why this is horrible. This sucks. This is a royal pain and a royal waste of time. I might have an aneurysm, I don't know.
En route.
Oh, did that codex entry. Turians, the Unification War. At about the time the Solarians and Asari were forming the Council, the Turians were embroiled in a bitter civil war. The Unification War, as it was later named, began with hostilities between the colonies furthest from the Turian homeworld, Palavan. These colonies were run by local chieftains, many of whom had distanced themselves from the hierarchy. Without the galvanizing influence of the government, the colonies became increasingly isolated and xenophobic. Colonists began wearing emblems or facial markings to differentiate themselves from members of other colonies, and open hostilities became common. When war finally broke out, the hierarchy maintained strict diplomacy and refused to get involved. After several years of fighting, less than a dozen factions remained, and the hierarchy finally intervened. By that time, the chieftains were too weak to resist. They were forced to put an end to the fighting and renew their allegiance to the hierarchy. Though peace was restored, it took several decades for animosity between colonists to fade completely. To this day, most Turians still wear the facial markings of their home colonies. As a point of interest, the Turian term barefaced refers to one who is beguiling or not to be trusted. It is also a slang term for politicians.
This is a private sanctuary. Outsiders are not welcome here.
I need to talk to the man in charge. It's important.
Father Kyle wants nothing more to do with the Alliance.
I'm here to help, God.
I want this to end peacefully. If he doesn't see me, people could get hurt.
We won't let you take Father Kyle away. He protects us. We need him.
The Alliance wants someone to pay for those murders. Let me speak to Major Kyle, and maybe I can find some way to help you all get out of this alive.
Wait. Father Kyle will speak with you. Head to the building at the far end of the compound. He'll meet you there.
I am Major Kyle. I know why you've come. We have no quarrel with you. Why can't you just leave us alone?
What happened to those other Alliance officers? The ones who came before me?
They wanted to take me away from here. They wanted me to abandon this place, turn my back on my family. They spoke blasphemy. I did what I could to make their end quick and painless. I had no other choice. It was necessary to protect my children. Only I can keep them safe.
The Alliance sent me to bring you in, Major. Can't you see this has gotten out of hand? Don't you understand you're endangering your followers?
I respect that you have come under a banner of peace, but I cannot do as you ask. If you take away their father, my children will be helpless.
You ordered your followers to kill those Alliance investigators. You must face the consequences of your actions. Do you really want your children to suffer for your sins too?
No, this was my fault. My children are innocent, pure. Please, I never meant for this to happen. I'm sorry.
You're doing the right thing, Major. Your children will be better off for it. Come on.
Wait, if my children see you taking me away, they won't understand. They will attack and you will be forced to kill them all. You have shown me the error of my ways, Commander. Now you must give me time to explain it to them. It is the only way they will understand. Please, give me 1 hour. After that, I will meet the Alliance authorities at the gates of my compound and surrender without violence. I give you my word.
I'm going to trust you. If you betray that trust, you and all your children will suffer.
I will not betray you, Commander. Thank you for this.
Your pilot can have an Alliance Command patrol pick Major Kyle up. I just hope you know what you're doing, Shepard.
Don't try anything. We're watching you.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Admiral Hackett here, Commander. Your helmsman just forwarded your report on Major Kyle. We sent in a team as you instructed. Kyle's followers have disbanded, and the Major surrendered to us without incident. We'll make sure he gets the help he needs. To be honest, Shepard, I thought this thing was going to end in a bloodbath. I don't know how you did it, but you saved a lot of lives. Congratulations.
Okay, that one's done.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
I've received some troubling information, Commander. We need your help. Someone is killing former Alliance scientists. There have been 4 deaths in the past month.
I'm happy to look into it, Admiral. What can you tell me?
All 4 scientists worked on a classified project on Akuz. There was a brutal massacre there years ago. An entire unit was killed by Thresher Maws. It was classified as a natural hazard, but the project dates coincide with the attacks.
You think these scientists had something to do with the attack?
I'm not certain what I think, but it's worth investigating. There was one other scientist on the project, Dr. Wayne. I'm transmitting his last known coordinates. Good luck. Fifth lead out.
Sesmos. Sesmos is an ice dwarf world, its surface composed almost entirely of frozen water. Normally a planetoid this small would not rate inclusion on the system's charts, but Sesmos' unusually large and beautiful ring of ice crystals has made it a popular subject for visual artists. The ring is the result of a glancing equatorial impact which left a large trench and threw a great deal of melted water into the atmosphere. The rings are a temporary feature that will completely decay in a few thousand years. Junkro. Junkro is a hydrogen-helium gas giant with traces of chlorine and sodium in its upper atmosphere. Like Uranus in the Sol system, it is tipped on its side, its north pole facing the star Newton. Clencori. Clencori is a rock and ice planet with an atmosphere composed of chlorine and argon. The frozen surface is mainly composed of potassium with deposits of iron. Clencori is famously claimed by the eccentric Volus billionaire Kumon Chol. He claims that a vision of a higher being told him to seek on Clencori the lost crypts of beings of light. These entities were supposedly created at the dawn of time to protect organic life from synthetic machine devils. He might have been onto something. Scholl has been excavating on Clencori's toxic surface for 2 decades at great expense. No government has valued the world enough to evict his small army of mercenaries. He might have been onto something. Antaron. The Antaron surface is uncomfortably hot. Its nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere and abundant shallow seas make it an ideal candidate for habitation by most known species. Unfortunately, the orbit of the moon Thonol has been slowly decaying since the system coalesced. Its proximity is beginning to have tidal effects, and its dynamo-like revolution through Antarum's magnetic field is generating increasingly powerful electrical storms. While some have suggested in placement of Mass Effect drives in an attempt to lighten the moon and correct its orbit, the scale of such a project, tens of thousands of drives, costing enough to bankrupt the government of all the Citadel races, make it a pipe dream. A multiracial effort is underway to catalog and preserve the unique genetic diversity of Antarum's vibrant young biosphere. Exogeny Corp and Heum Genetics represent the Alliance's share of the effort.
Just lead the way.
Ow. Oh no.
After the thresher moths are subterranean carnivores that spend their entire lives eating or searching for something to eat. Threshers reproduce via spores that can lie dormant for millennia, yet are robust enough to survive prolonged periods in deep space and atmospheric re-entry. As a result, thresher spores appear on many worlds, spread by previous generations of space travelers. The body of a thresher never entirely leaves the ground. Only the head and tentacles erupt from the earth to attack. In addition to physical attacks, threshers have the ability to project toxic chemicals and emit bursts of infrasound as a shockwave weapon. The Alliance first encountered threshers on the colony of Akuz in 2177. After contact was lost with the Pioneer team, Marine units were deployed to investigate. The shore parties were set upon by hungry threshers, and nearly the entire assault force was killed. Alliance forces recommend engaging threshers with vehicle-mounted heavy weapons.
We got them all, Shepard.
Stay back! I've got no grief with you. All I want is this bastard.
Please! He's a madman! Mr. Toombs, you're insane! You need help!
It's Corporal! Corporal Toombs! You don't get to lie! Not today! Today it all comes out!
What all comes out? I'm listening. But I need you to put that gun down.
You don't understand! I don't want to kill anyone. I want to go to sleep without screaming in my dreams. I want the people who sent me to Akuz brought to justice.
Can't you see that Toombs is crazy? Shoot him!
But if I can't get that, I'll have to settle for killing the men who took my life away.
What did the doctor do to you, Corporal?
We were on Akuz. When the Thresher Maws hit, my entire unit was wiped out. The Thresher Maws, the scientists were studying them. They let them hit our unit just to watch. I woke up in a holding cell. The scientists were delighted I'd survived. Now they had someone to run tests on.
What kind of tests are we talking about?
You can't believe Toombs. He doesn't have any proof. I demand a fair trial.
Ever had Thresher Maw acid in your veins? I have. They wanted to see what it would do. They're part of some organization, Cerberus, that runs secret tests like this. They treated me like a lab animal. This is justice. This man deserves to die. So, are you going to kill me or not?
I can arrest him. He'll answer for his crimes in court.
Weren't you listening? He was part of a secret organization.
There goes the 100% again.
I don't know what Cerberus is, but they'll never let their operation become public. This is the only way. Are you helping me, or are you killing me?
I'm obligated to do this.
I can't let you murder him. I'm sorry.
I thought I was dead. Thank you. Here, for your trouble. I don't think I'll ever forget that madman's face.
I didn't save you out of charity. You people need to be exposed. You're under arrest.
But you can't do that!
It's better than you deserve. Joker, let the 5th Fleet know we need a ship for pickup.
Aye, aye, Commander.
So much for 100%. Alright.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
I reviewed your report on the situation, Commander. I'm glad to see you were able to take Dr. Wayne in alive. Now we can put him on trial and get some answers. I just wish we could have saved Corporal Toombs, too. Thank you again for your assistance, Commander. 5th Fleet out.
Alright, we're gonna do this one. And then we're gonna go to Ferris.
Message coming in from the brass at Arcturus. Patching it through.
Normandy? Admiral Hackett here. We're getting reports of a marked increase in Geth activity in the Skyllian Verge. Surveillance drones have identified Geth outposts on 4 different planets in the Armstrong cluster. We need someone to take them out.
We have any idea what they're after?
Hard to say. They may be just gathering intel on us. Or maybe they're setting up staging grounds for hit-and-run attacks on human colonies.
It could be the first wave of an invasion.
Let's hope not. We need someone to investigate this, Shepard. Finding Saren is still your top priority, but you've got experience fighting the Geth. You're the logical choice to take out these outposts. We're transmitting all the locations of known Geth outposts in the Armstrong cluster to the Normandy now. Admiral Hackett out.
More than a few. More than a few. Almos. Almos is a hydrogen-helium gas giant with traces of sodium darkening its atmosphere. I wish they were all that short. Pregel. Pregel is an enormous terrestrial world with an atmosphere of chlorine and ethane. Its surface is mainly composed of sulfur with deposits of aluminum. No landing has ever been attempted. Maji. Maji orbits the Vamshi binary giant stars. Vamshi A is a blue star of spectral class A4111, which burns at half again the temperature of Sol. Vamshi B is an aging red giant of class M5111, over 220 times the size of Sol. Maji has a thin atmosphere of methane and carbon monoxide. The difference in temperature between the hemisphere facing the suns and that facing deep space causes constant wind, stirring the silica and sodium dust of the surface. Unsavory characters from the Terminus system occasionally use Maji for forms of cruel sport, dumping slaves, hostages, quarreling shipmates, or even, when bored, vicious animals on the surface. One must kill the other before they will be rescued from the lethal radiation of the giant stars.
Let's get moving.
Oh, wait, what? That's weird.
Just lead the way.
There we go. Man, it's so small you can barely see it. Alright, we're gonna clear this outpost and end the video. Thanks, guys.
These outposts left to clear out? This should be fun.
Alright. Well, I guess we'll go to the next one and leave it there. Triager is a tiny ice dwarf with a trace atmosphere of xenon and krypton. The frozen surface is mainly composed of water, ice, and ammonia. Cryovolcanic processes are gradually repaving the surface with sheets of fresh ice. The Shaka. The Shaka is a standard hydrogen-helium gas giant. In the past, it was often used as a drive-discharge point for pirates raiding human settlements from the Terminus systems. In 2178, the Alliance set up a network of covert sensing devices on Thessica's moons. Oh. There's a typo there. Thessica versus the Shaka. That's a typo. Recordings of pirate FDL exit vectors over the course of 6 months led the Alliance Navy to 8 major pirate anchorages. Since the Thessica raids, no ship from the Terminus have been reported in the Hong system. Just double checking. Matar is a terrestrial planet with a thick atmosphere composed of nitrogen and krypton. Its frigid surface is mainly composed of sodium oxide with deposits of copper. Because of noxious surface gases, explorers are warned to use extreme caution. Matar lacks a magnetic field. This makes it useless for discharging FTL drive cores in orbit. The energetic particles of solar wind from Hong strike the upper atmosphere directly, ionizing the krypton. This gives the planet its distinctive minty green-white hue. Well, we're going to skip over Casbon and come back to it. Pommel. Pommel is an enormous terrestrial planet with a very dense atmosphere of carbon dioxide and sodium. The surface is scorching hot and mainly composed of sodium oxides and deposits of nickel. There is evidence that Pommel was once covered with the broad, shallow seas. Should a probe ever be sent to the surface, a check for ancient fossil life might prove valuable. Casbon is a classic pre-garden terrestrial world with conditions similar to those on Earth millions of years ago. Its hot, humid atmosphere is mainly composed of nitrogen and carbon dioxide. An increasing amount of the surface is covered by simple lichen and algae. Should no unexpected calamity occur, these tiny plants will change the atmosphere to an Earth-like nitrogen-oxygen mix over the next few millennia. Due to its potential for future habitability and sapient life, Casbon has designated a sanctuary world by the Citadel Council. Landing is prohibited by law, and any disturbance of the fragile young ecosystem will result in harsh fines and imprisonment. And I'm going to totally break those rules right now. At present, the planet is passing through the debris field of a long dormant period is passing through the debris field of a long period comet. Alright, we're just going to follow the first signal, and then we're going to end it and come back later. Interesting. Actually, I think we got time for one more. Yeah. Oh, that's strange. Yeah, I'm heading towards a mummified Solarian, but looks like a Geth outpost. Wait a minute, that's weird. I don't think the mapping is working right. Oh no. Oh no. But it didn't give me... Something's not working right here. Huh. Something is very off here. Okay. So annoying. Alright, we're done here. Gonna save and come back to it later. Thanks for joining me, non-existent audience.